According to a recent Bankrate study, almost a quarter of eligible Americans claim Social Security at age 62. It feels safe, like you're locking in money that's been promised. But here's the truth. For a lot of people, it's the single most expensive retirement mistake that they will ever make. I'm John Norberg, a certified financial planner and founder of Norberg Wealth Management, and I've spent the last 7 years helping people retire with confidence by shifting from focus from accumulation to clarity. And that starts with understanding the different streams of income you'll have in retirement and how best to use them. You see, many people think that claiming Social Security at age 62 is a smart move. And sometimes it can be, but the truth is you're going to also cost yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement potentially with that single move. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common claiming paths I see from age 62 all the way to age 70, and the different reasons that people claim at each stage. Now for each one, we're going to break down what that choice really means for your monthly benefit, why so many people fall into that path, and also how it could either lock in confidence or leave you vulnerable years down the line. Because this isn't just about income, it's about control, certainty, peace of mind. And if you listen until the end, I'm going to share a reason why I sometimes throw this advice completely out the window and recommend clients claim right where they are now. So with that introduction, allow me to welcome you to this latest edition of the Financial Prof series. Alright, let's get started with the most common path, claiming at age 62. On the surface, it sounds smart. You're eligible, you've earned it, why not take it now? But here's what most people don't realize. When you claim at age 62, you lock in a reduced benefit that means you're getting only 77 to 75% of your full amount. Only 70 to 75% depending on your birth year. And that average monthly reduction can be around $400 to $600 every month forever. So to put that in real numbers, imagine your full retirement benefit at age 67 is $2,000 per month. Claiming at 62 could mean only $1,400. That's a $600 difference, which over a 20-year retirement equals $144,000 left on the table. So why do so many people still do it? Because they're worried. They're worried Social Security might not be around, that they won't live long enough to collect, or that they might need the income now. And those concerns are totally valid, but they're not always true. And acting on fear can cost far more in the long run. I once worked with a client, call him Bill. Bill wanted to claim at age 62 because he was worried about the program running out of money. And he'd also had a recent health scare. All very understandable reasons, to be sure. But when we sat down and ran his numbers, we showed that by waiting until age 67, his benefit could have increased by over $500 per month. And if he lived till age 85, he'd collect nearly $100K more over his lifetime. Now, if you have other income to lean on, be it a part-time job or savings or even a spouse with higher earnings, delaying just a few years could make a 6-figure difference. That's why the first step in any smart claiming decision is understanding what you're giving up by starting early. Because that peace of mind today might come at the cost of real security tomorrow. Alright, next we have what I call the cautious claimers. Those who wait a year or two past 62, but still claim before full retirement age. But before we dive into this next claiming path, if you're watching this and wondering when you should claim Social Security, that's exactly what I help people figure out. Instead of guessing, I will record a free, personalized video where I walk through your numbers, your retirement goals, and what I'd recommend based on your situation. Just click the link below, share a few details with us, and I'll send it directly to you. No pressure, just clarity. Alright, so back to the cautious claimers, age 63 to 64. On the face of it, claiming at this age looks like progress. After all, every year you wait adds a bit more, right? But here's the trap. While you do earn more than at age 62, you're still locking in a permanently reduced benefit. For example, if your full benefit is $2,000 at age 67, claiming at 63 might get you $1,500 or maybe $1,550. Yes, it's better than $1,400 at age 62, but still far below your full entitlement. Many people in this category feel like they're making a wise move, a compromise between immediate access and long-term value. But the truth of the matter is that the jump in benefit between 62 and 63 or 64 really isn't massive. You're still leaving a lot on the table, and psychologically, this is where many retirees fall into what I call the comfort illusion. They convince themselves that a small delay equals a big win. Why does this happen? Because emotionally, it feels like you're doing better than average. But financially, the difference may not be enough to offset the benefits of waiting longer. Instead of just inching forward, use these middle years to reassess. Can you reduce expenses temporarily? use savings to fill income gaps, or delay just a little longer still. These small shifts can, in fact, have a really large impact, especially when you remember that this decision affects the rest of your life. I often encourage clients at this stage to do one simple thing: run a break-even analysis. Compare what you'd collect there versus age 67 to 70. In most cases, break-even ends up at age 78 to 80, depending on life expectancy, and many people are better off waiting. All right, with that in mind, let's jump into level 3. Now we're into more strategic territory, claiming at your full retirement age, somewhere between age 66 and 67, depending on when you were born. Now this means you're going to get 100% of your earned benefit at that FRA. This is the benchmark Social Security uses. It's often seen as the default safe option, and for many it is. You avoid reductions in your benefit from any other income, such as a part-time job, and you don't have to worry about complex calculations. But here's the catch. Even though this age delivers your full benefit, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your most optimal. Why? Because waiting beyond your full retirement age of 66 to 67 still earns you delayed retirement credits, about 8% more per year up until age 70. So let's look at an example. Sarah claimed at her full retirement age of 66. For easy math, let's say she receives $2,000 per month. If she had waited until 70, her benefit would have grown to about $2,640. That's $640 per month, over $7,600 more per year, and across 20 years, that's over $150K in more guaranteed income. This is why this is the time to ask deeper questions. What other income sources do you have? How long do you realistically plan to live? And could delaying just a few more years take pressure off of your investment withdrawals? Full retirement age is a major milestone, and for many, it's the time where they feel like hanging up their hat with a job well done. But for some, it is merely the launch pad to something even better. So let's talk about level 4, age 68 to 69. This is where things get interesting. These strategic delayers, as I like to call them, are those who intentionally wait till age 68 or 69. I've worked with a number of people like this. By delaying, these clients unlock one of the most powerful features in Social Security: delayed retirement credits. For every year you delay past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by roughly 8% per year. That's a guaranteed return backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. Where else can you find that kind of guaranteed risk-free 8% return? Not in stocks, not in bonds, not even in annuities. Social Security is one of the only ways to lock that in. So why don't more people do this? Well, because it requires patience and planning. And you need to have income from somewhere, whether your portfolio, another job, or somewhere else. But the payoff of doing so is huge, not just in terms of dollars, but flexibility too. By delaying, you reduce the amount of pressure on your portfolio. You lock in a higher floor of guaranteed income and create a stronger safety net in later years. I once worked with a couple who had over $1 million saved. They were nervous about retiring because they were worried about running out. We modeled Social Security at age 67 versus 69. The 2-year delay meant over $500 more per month, which in turn allowed them to withdraw $6,000 less from their portfolio per year. Over 20 years, those withdrawals can allow those dollars to continue to compound in the portfolio, such that by claiming Social Security later, compounding at that 8% guaranteed rate, as it were, the portfolio itself potentially has more time to grow, strengthen, and compound. All right, so level 5, here we are, the optimizer. These are those people who wait until full age 70 to claim Social Security. Now, this is a smaller share of retirees, and in many ways, it can be the most strategic. By holding out until 70, you receive the maximum possible monthly benefit, about 132% of your full retirement benefit. However, past age 70, there's really no reason to wait because it doesn't increase your Social Security benefit any further from extra retirement credits or what have you. But if you do wait until age 70, it can mean over $200,000 more in total benefits across a couple of decades. So let's revisit from Sarah, from earlier. She had $2,000 per month. Now, if she delayed, she'd have $2,640 per month, and if she waits until age 90, that's an additional $160K in guaranteed income. But beyond the math, there's in fact something deeper: peace of mind. A higher Social Security benefit acts as a powerful foundation, meaning less dependence on your portfolio and more in terms of guaranteed income. Now, is this strategy right for everyone? No, not everyone has that luxury. But if you have the health, the resources, and long-term perspective to delay, It could be the most financially rewarding move you ever make. So before you write it off as unnecessary or unrealistic, run the numbers. You might be surprised by how much stronger your plan becomes, especially if you have longevity in your family. This brings me to my final point. Ultimately, there are times when even the best laid plans need to be thrown out the window, when realities change and we need to adapt. What I'll often tell clients is this, that even the most perfect financial software in the world can't predict the future perfectly, which is why we can look at Social Security as a form of insurance policy against market volatility and sequence of returns risk. It may happen, maybe a year or two into retirement very early on, that market disaster strikes and your portfolio sinks by 20% or even more. In that case, we revisit the plan and see if it makes sense to claim Social Security at that time, given the significant risk posed by a lower initial sequence of returns. Oftentimes, the answer is yes, for the simple reason that it can provide that portfolio a much-needed breather to recover. Now, by doing so, yes, you lock in a lower benefit, but over the long run, the upside of doing so can outweigh the detriment, as the dollars you would have otherwise taken out to support your lifestyle can stay invested and have a much better chance of recovering and compounding, sometimes even leading to a greater overall wealth picture, depending on what happens next. So there you have it, the 5 Social Security claiming paths. And as you've seen, the age you choose to claim isn't just a date on a calendar, it's a decision that can shape your retirement for decades. But here is the truth. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. The right choice ultimately depends on your situation, your health, your income needs, your spouse, and your long-term goals. And as we just discussed, there are times when it makes sense to throw out even the most carefully thought-out claiming strategy if it means that the overall plan would have a greater chance of success by claiming earlier. And that's why I offer something different. If you're curious about how all of the other factors beyond just Social Security can affect your plan and what this could mean for your retirement goals, I'll create a free, personalized video where I walk through your numbers, your retirement goals, and what I'd recommend if you were sitting across from me in my office. Just go ahead and click the link, share a few details, and I'll send it directly to you. No pressure, just clarity and peace of mind. Because claiming Social Security isn't just about maximizing dollars. It's about maximizing confidence in the life that you've worked so hard to build. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, I'll see you out there.